Stress and anxiety result when we feel we can't handle the pressures and adverse situations of everyday life. It's a simple question of supply and demand of available emotional resources. At times our mind cluttered up with so many thoughts that it becomes difficult for one to find a way out or systemize our problems to solve efficiently. Meditation has proven scientifically to reduce stress after a few weeks of regular practice. Numerous studies have shown that meditation is an effective stress management tool, ultimately reprogramming the brain to the extent that meditators end up with more capacity to manage stress when meditation is a consistent, daily practice. In meditation, there is a journey from activity to silence. One goes beyond the noisy thoughts in the mind and enter a state of restful alertness. There is a state of deep rest, yet the mind is fully alert and awake. In this state of restful alertness, the body experiences many healing effects that are the opposite of the fight or flight response. So by meditating we achieve benefits of deep rest, hence gradually restoring natural physical and emotional balance. During meditation, there is a release of neurotransmitters that enhance well-being, focus, attention, and calm. Through meditation, we channel out negative vibrations and focus more on our mental activity. Over time we start understanding ourselves better and know our strengths and weakness better. Eventually, we find there is more space in our mind as the negative emotions have subsided, and they mainly were the reason for cluttering and stress. To summarize, meditation connects to our true self and raises us above the constricted awareness of self and limited possibilities. It expands our understanding of everything, and we are able to realize how often we make a little problem too big through overthinking. Let me begin to answer this by taking a look at stress. Keep reading, I'll get to meditation eventually. Stress in itself is not a problem. In fact, positive stress is helpful, creating the conditions by which we learn and grow. So if we have too little stress in our lives, we languish in the dullness of an unchallenging life. Stress becomes a problem when our system becomes overwhelmed. That is when the effects of the stressor are greater than our individual constitution can handle. An interesting feature of such overwhelm is that it is totally subjective. A stressor that will floor one person will be nothing more than an interesting challenge to another. You can see this subjectivity in workplaces where a group experience a given stressor, e.g. threat of redundancy, and some people just take it in their stride, whereas others begin to crumble. When we look at stress from this perspective, we can see that for each individual there are two factors to any stressful situation. There's the strength of the stressor itself, which is the external manifestation. And then there's the ability of that individual's mental emotional processing habits to deal with the stressor without negative effect. We often cannot do anything about the external aspects of stress. It's the very nature of life that stressors will happen in the form of the many disappointments and unforeseeable events that come our way. If we protect ourselves by avoiding stressful events by living in a cocoon, we risk not really living, and even then stressors will come in their unstoppable form, as we cannot protect against the effects of unstoppable forces such as the death of those we love, global economies crumbling, or natural disasters. What we can do is influence the way that we receive and process these external stressors. Many of us learn bad mental emotional habits as we grow up, from our parents and our other main life teachers. We not only learn to be reactive, knee-jerk responses instead of responsive, calm, equanimous consideration of the situation, but other negative cognitive distortions, see 15 common cognitive distortions, can actually make us amplify the impact of stress rather than lessen it. What has meditation got to offer? Well, there are many different forms of meditation, which all have different effects, so bear in mind that different methods will have a differing impacts on the negative effects on stress. However, what most meditation practices have in common is that they influence your mental emotional habits in a positive direction. If we use the analogy of a computer, we are rewriting our software to process the data we receive more effectively and more efficiently. Many of these techniques focus on the intellectual cognitive mind, and its overuse. If we become ruminative thinkers, we simply chew over our stressful situations and suffer as a result. Meditation can help us distract from ruminative thoughts, and eventually learn new habits of not ruminating. More than that, some techniques can shift the balance of our thinking back into the unconscious background mind that we use so little in modern society, and come up with different, nonlinear ways of approaching our problems.